got things to lose, boy. When I get in my groove, boy, you can't. You know what time it is. Marvin Devine, Hoover, Axel, and you know how we do. Yeah, I got the juice, yeah, I got the juice. Whip game cool, make them look like cool. Always play cool, that's the biggest rule. Forget what they doing, keep on doing. I've been making loot since like 22. Ask me how I made it right here in the booth. I'm always pursued cause of what I pursue. That's greatness, yeah, I gotta make it, I got things to lose, boy. When I get in my groove, boy, you can't get in my groove. Me, Axel, and Hoover, way too fireball. When this joint drop, better call the troops. And when you hear the drop, better raise the roof. Better raise the roof. You already know what happens when we link up. Let's go. Yeah.
Know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Cold, these brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Ride or die, 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 ride or die. Cold, these brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta ride or die.
Yeah, let's get it. It's you against the world, better figure out fast who the hell you could trust. If you wanna make it past all the fakes and the lust, better figure out fast. Nah, this ain't what you want, you don't want it that bad. Can you give up all your stuff? Pay attention to the facts and forget the media. Figure out your own path, can you figure out love? Or do you feel wrath? Can you hone that feeling and create an impact? Go get it, if you wanna go get it. Get with it, ain't nobody gon' give it your ticket, gonna take a quick minute. Don't quit it, figure out your own limit. Life is a test, the best make progress. Figure out what is next and carve a path, yes. No, they never second guess, take a chance, no regret. If you wanna take a breath, give your blood and your sweat on.
When everything just breaks from all of your mistakes, don't let yourself feel down. Don't let yourself just drown. Only when you've lost everything are you free to do anything. Only when
Boom, boom, boom. This is Jared and I'm back. Hey guys, man, I am so pumped to do this show tonight, man. We are going to bring it All right, man. Today is virtually, all right, this show is virtually a Iowa show. I've got a co-host from Iowa, and my special guest, all right, is from Iowa. So, man, I'm a little left out. I'm the odd man out. I'm like the odd outcast here. I'm not from Iowa. So, anyway, so it's all Iowa, 365, 24/7. All right, we're going all Iowa today, and I'm excited to do this. All right. So as you know how we do it. I'm Jared A. Brown, your host of the Warriors Quest show. All right. And this is our time to spotlight a kidney warrior who's looking for a living kidney donor. All right. So, you all know what to do. Please share. Don't be stingy. All right. Don't be stingy. Please share. Don't be stingy. There it is. Don't be stingy. All right. So, man, I was reading a comment. It made me laugh. So I'm going to share that real briefly. Please drop a comment. Keep the comments coming. Let's get this interactive. But I want to show a comment. It made me laugh. Here we go. So Chelsea Roman, thanks for watching. She was asking Sam Jennings, Mr. Kidney, whether it's going to start soon or something. Here's Chelsea. Are we still waiting? Not seeing anything. And he says, looks that way. And then Sam puts in here, Jared likes to build up the drama, like suspense. And I do. All right. I do. All right. Guilty as charged. All right. So, all right. So we got laughs, but we also not only have laughs because we're going to build encouragement. We're going to build hope. We've got a co-host from Iowa, and I'm bringing on, all right, Shane Blanchard. All right. So please give a very special co-host welcome to Shane Blanchard. All right. Here we go. Very special co-host video intro. Booyah! Boom! All right. Hold on. I'm building more. I see
What's
you,
up?
Shane. Welcome.
What's up, man? How you doing? Don't be hurting yourself about Utah. The good thing is we're both boring states, so we've got something in common.
That's right. They rarely remember Iowa or Utah.
Yeah.
So we do have something in common there. You're right. So, man, thanks for coming on board and being such a great co-host tonight, man. I'm excited to do this. We've got two really great special guests that are coming on. I've heard their story already, and I'm excited to bring them on the Warriors Quest show to get this information out to the masses. Man, have you heard their story already?
I seen them when they were on a few weeks ago with Jeff. I think you were co-hosting on that show. And so just a couple remarkable people, a remarkable couple. I am really excited about being on with them tonight and letting them get their word out. And hopefully somebody out there hears their story and just feels, something in them to move forward and to donate, because they're just a great couple and good people. So I couldn't think anything better. We'll let the story speak for itself when we get them on. But yeah, they're great.
Yeah, they are, and I'm excited, man. What I was really impressed with, and you guys will see this when they're on the show tonight, is that they just have this great, all right, cohesiveness. They just have this great bond, and you can tell, all right, that it's genuine love, and there's nothing better than helping people that are so bonded and have so much love for one another. And so if you guys see that tonight, please hashtag all right love, and let's make this not only an Iowa thing but a love thing tonight. All right. So here we go. Man, let's bring them on, Shane. I'm excited to do this because nothing like making sure that a really good story gets out there. And tonight we're going to have the opportunity to do that. So with no further ado, ADO, all right, no further ado, we're bringing on Don and Jimmie Bates from Iowa. All right, here we go. Give them a very special Warriors Quest show welcome, y'all. Here we go. Boom.
Hello.
So thank you for coming on, guys. I'm going to play some musical chairs. Are you ready for musical chairs?
Yeah.
So I'm going to move Shane. Here we go.
Whoa!
Wow, was that hurt? I hope not.
I'm trying to figure out where I went for. I like totally blacked out for like a whole half a second there, and then all of a sudden I'm like, boom! That was crazy.
Yeah. All right. I know some magic. Okay. All right. I know you're impressed. I know you are, but but seriously, you don't have to laugh at my jokes. So, man, tell me, guys, how are you doing, Jimmie, Don?
Doing good.
Yeah, we're doing really good. We had a day with the grandkids today, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It was
how
a
old
good
are your
day.
grandkids?
Oh, well, from 14 to 2. So we have 13 of them.
Okay. All right, 13. Very nice. That's cool. I've got one granddaughter myself, and so I'm a rookie, so to speak. I'm not as experienced, but I love being a grandpa. I do. It's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Nothing like when my 2-year-old granddaughter comes over and then she says, "Papa." It just warms my heart.
Absolutely.
So I hadn't realized until earlier today when I was looking and refreshing the information that but both of you, Shane, and then you, Jimmie, and Don, that all of you besides me, that you're all from Iowa. So that's pretty cool. So where in Iowa are you from exactly, and where did you all grow up, Jimmie and Don?
Well, that's an interesting story. Currently,
Okay.
we live in Dubuque, Iowa, but we were.
All right.
I was born and raised in Independence, Iowa. He also grew up in Independence, Iowa, and we've known each other since we were 12 years old. And
all right.
After high school, lost touch and then reconnected about 25 years later, and he was already on dialysis in center at the time.
All right. So, man, 25 years? You've known each other that long?
Oh, no, a lot longer than that. We're old.
I've known her since I was 12.
Yeah, we were 12 years old when we met, and we're
very cool.
We're in our mid-50s, so.
Okay. All right. So, and what happened along the way? So it sounds like there was some like periods where maybe you weren't as close or you weren't connected. So,
yeah.
And some of this I already know, but I'm asking these questions obviously for people that haven't, interviewed or listened to other interviews with you guys already. So, tell us a little bit about, the journey that happened, how you were disconnected and how you found each other again, because To me, it's just amazing. It's a great story about, two lovebirds. It's a story about Jack and Diane. No, I'm kidding. It's John Mills.
No, we like I said, we've known each other since junior high, and um after high school, you know, he went his way, I went my way. We were always friends, and we would see each other periodically um throughout the years. You know, he would come to where I was working, and or we would be at the same gathering. And
Mhm.
but I was always married or had a boyfriend or something. And um when I just happened to be on Facebook one day, and I was talking to a mutual classmate friend, and he asked if I had talked to Jimmie lately. And I said, no, I haven't talked to him in years. And he goes, well, I have his number. So I called him. And of course, he didn't
Mhm.
recognize the number, so he
Hmm.
didn't answer. And
Yeah, right.
so I left this message, and he called
Uh-huh.
back. And it was like from that point on, we talked every night for hours. And after about a month, um, I went to see him, and he was only an hour away, but I went to see him, and then you just couldn't keep us away from each other. Either I was going to Cedar Rapids where he was at, or he was
Nice.
coming to Dubuque where I was at. And that was like in March. and April we were exclusively dating. In May he moved to Dubuque, and we sat down and discussed it and said, you know, we're not getting married. I had been married twice before. I sucked as a wife. I said, I'm not wife material. I just, no, it's not for me. And he said he wasn't getting married because it wasn't getting married, it was getting stupid. And so we agreed we were never going to get married. And in September we were married.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like love found a way. Sometimes that
Yes,
happens, right?
yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah. So, man, Jimmie, I want to ask you. So, when she called you and you didn't recognize the phone number, when you finally started talking, was it immediate that you felt the butterflies again, or did it take a couple days, or how did that happen exactly?
Um, yeah, it's like pretty much right away. It's like she was always my favorite girl in school. I was always trying to get her to go out with me, and I got to take her to homecoming junior year. But
Very
yeah,
cool.
I've always kind of had a thing for her. It's just there's always been chemistry there.
Okay, okay. So the chemistry was there, um and and you clicked again when you got reconnected,
Hmm.
and you had to kind of catch up a little bit. But when the stars aligned and this happened, did you all kind of imagine that this would create such a tight relationship again, or was it just, hey, let's reconnect, let's talk about old times?
Yeah,
What
that's
was
what it
kind of
started
your
out
thoughts
as.
going in? Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was, we were, yeah, it was just two friends getting together. And, you know, I had just got divorced in January. And so it was like,
Mm-hmm.
um, I remember driving to Cedar Rapids to see him and saying, all right, God, it's on you. All right. Don't let me screw this up. Okay. Because whatever it's supposed to be, I'm just going to let you take it. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right. Put it in his hands, huh?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did. Yes, I did.
Now, do you have a Harley? I noticed you got a Harley hat on. So you guys ride a Harley together too?
We have, yeah. I don't have the Harley anymore. I gave it to my son, the old one that I had.
Mhm.
And when I got sick, when I found out about the kidney problems and stuff, I put it in my son's name.
Mhm.
So that way there wouldn't be any, if anything happened to me, there wouldn't be any question where that bike was supposed to go. It's supposed to stay in the family.
Yep.
So yeah, my son Tori has that. And right now I had neuropathy from doing the dialysis and stuff. I ended up with neuropathy in my feet and hands both. And I was walking with a cane at the time. And so Doc said I'd be better to switch to a trike. So I've got a Honda Goldwing trike that we ride together.
Okay.
It's pretty cushy.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
It's very comfortable. I have fallen asleep on the back.
Oh, for real?
She
real.
has little armrests on the back
Yeah.
back there and a backrest and everything. It's like,
Yep.
Okay.
it's pretty cool.
So the neuropathy, let's talk a little bit about that.
Mhm.
I've interviewed other kidney warriors that have had that problem, and
Yeah.
it mostly is because of diabetes. Do you have diabetes, Jimmy, or
No,
how
I
have you
don't.
gotten neuropathy?
Yeah, it just
Okay, all right,
started when I
and
was doing dialysis in center, and
mm-hmm.
yeah, it was like pins and
Okay.
needles all the time in my hands and my feet. And every once in a while, it felt like a hot jab, like a hot poke. But after having it for years, it's kind of went away, and my hands and feet are just kind of numb now.
Yeah, the unfortunate
Wow.
thing is you've probably gotten used to it and just
Yeah,
becomes a part of everyday life with you, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how does that? How is that? And again, you probably I can imagine you probably have gotten used to it, but in the beginning, was there like a big? Were you very nervous in regards to not knowing whether water was hot enough or whether I don't know,
I use the
something was
back of
too
my
cold
hand.
or things like that?
Yeah, when I
Oh,
do
did
that, I
you?
use the
Okay.
back of my hand so I can tell. And I have little tricks and stuff like for going down the stairs so I don't fall, especially if I'm carrying something. I'll
Okay.
put my hip against the railing, the handrail, and go down that way. That way I can feel something there, and it helps me know where I'm at.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. That's good. That very creative. I guess I hadn't known that, but Sam also has neuropathy. Okay. He says he's gotten it from his transplants, and
Mhm.
Yeah,
so over the over the 2 years that I've been interviewing people, I always learn something new. It's always good to learn new things. That's good.
sure is.
Every story is
So
different.
I know exactly. It's like a snowflake.
Yep.
If every person that is going through it differently, and then even if they both have neuropathy, they may have it for different reasons, or they may have it a little bit differently, where because there are different forms of neuropathy, and so there's just every story is so unique. And so, but back to yours, is I'm excited to get yours out there because, as I said before, I just love. Okay, when I was co-hosting it with my twin brother, and we and I heard your story, I just think that it just needs to get out there, and I'm happy to tell it, or happy to have you guys tell it, because it's so good to hear a story where when two people have such a strong bond of love, and they're with each other, and you're in the trenches.
Yeah,
So I mean, Don, I know that it can't be easy, every single day to be a caretaker. And it can't be easy for Jimmie to go through what he's going through. And so that's what's so amazing to me is that you're going through it together.
yeah,
And Shane,
yeah,
I'm sure you will probably attest that it's so important to have support. Wouldn't you agree with me?
for sure.
Absolutely. It's, the thing is that dialysis affects the entire family. It truly does. And
Right.
I, you said, and I don't mean to correct you, but you said caretaker. And in the beginning, I was a caretaker, I was a caregiver, and now I am a care partner because it's not my treatments, they're his
Nice. Nice.
treatments. And so,
Okay.
I will help him because where his fistula is, um, it's very difficult for him to cannulate himself. So I will help him with
Hmm.
that. But, I will say, go set up your machine. I need to order supplies. It is a team effort all the way. I believe that as a care partner, it is my job to be encouraging, supportive, and to be his best cheerleader,
And she is.
to encourage him every single step of the way. Whatever he wants to do, we're going to make it happen. And And so, I mean, we do. That's exactly what we do. He, he was transplanted once before, and it only lasted 5 years, and it was
Okay, 5
it was
years. Okay.
bad. He had one good year. He had one really good year, and every transplant is different, and every patient is different, and we know that. But after, he had his transplant, and then he had one good year, and then he had a major rejection, and then about a year and a half later, he had another rejection, and they were able to save it, but with every rejection, there's a chance of another rejection, and we know that. And so, about 4 years after transplant, he started to lose weight, and he had diarrhea like 12 times a day, and he lost over 100 pounds, and he looked like a skeleton
You lost
of a
over
man.
100 pounds, brother?
Yeah, it was pretty horrible.
Yeah, and he was wasting. Failure to thrive. He was shaking so bad. He was cold, 90 degrees out, and he's freezing. He was not doing well, and we thank God for the University of Iowa Hospital, because they saved his life.
Yeah.
They rushed him. They rushed him to Iowa City, and they put him on ECMO. And ECMO, your heart doesn't have to work, your lungs don't have to work. It oxygenates your blood to keep you alive until you can heal. And he had Legionella pneumonia. He had ARDS. He was a hot mess. And it was a very scary time for us. They gave him a 30% chance of survival. And of course, my words are, you do whatever it takes to save him. And then I went into him and I said, all right, I did my part. Now it's on you, honey. Fight.
I was unconscious.
And he was unconscious.
I was out for 4 days.
Yep. But he did. It was 10 days later, we were walking out of the hospital.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that. And so then, of course, the ECMO saved his life, but it also, it destroyed what was left of the kidney function.
Yeah.
And okay, that's fine. And at this point, I am perfectly okay with, all right, we're just going to do home hemodialysis for the rest of our lives, and we're going to live our life on our terms, and this is going to be great. It's going to be awesome, and we can take it and travel, and it'll be fine.
You were coming to terms.
Yeah, complete acceptance of this is how it is. And then he says, I want another transplant. And I'm like, okay. And I'm crying, I'm going, okay. It's like, all right, we can do this. And I remember telling our kids, the boys were all, we have five grown children, and 4 out of the 5 were perfectly okay with it. And one felt the same way I did. And she fell apart. She's scared. Right. She's scared as well. Okay. But she also went through, when he was getting tested the first time around, she was a perfect match for him. And they told her no, because of the really strong history of high blood pressure on both mom and dad's families.
Yeah.
So we're not going to put her at risk. And she was heartbroken, but we are so grateful that they told her no.
Yeah.
Because later we discovered she had a rare blood disorder.
And we don't want to put her in jeopardy. And she didn't know about that.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. So, yeah. So anyway, now we're back on the looking for a transplant, looking for a living donor. And decided that, yes, he's listed in Rochester, Minnesota, and he's listed at the University of Iowa. And we do have 2 that I know of, potential donors, but we have heard from many friends that they filled out the application, the questionnaire, and they got turned down for this reason or that reason. And my thought is, it's okay, because we want you to be safe.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Jimmie, you are a warrior. Your story is very similar to mine on some things I went through. Yeah. But for you to persevere and come out of the hospital the way you have, this just shows why somebody needs to donate to you, because you're not going to let it go to waste. You are going to do everything in your power to make sure that anybody that brings something to you, that gift, that kidney, it's going to give you life, and it's going to make your guys' life so much better. And Don, you're the woman of womans. I mean, you're anybody that anybody would ever want as a partner and a wife, because for you to be by his side and to be a supporter for him is phenomenal. You're just a great person. And I just implore anybody out there, if you're led to donate to Jimmie, this is the guy right here. I mean, the guy's a warrior. He's a fighter. He deserves it. He's been through the ringer and back, and he is ready to get his life back to normal. So, people share this and get the word out there for him.
Thank you, Shane.
Amen to that. Amen to that. I mean, honestly, it's so encouraging to hear, Jimmie, and I can only imagine, again, Don, your thoughts and when he's telling you, I want another transplant, but it just reaffirms and gives me encouragement that God is in your lives and God is giving you inspiration, because to go through what you went through and then to think, you know what, I want another transplant. That's inspiration, and it's encouraging to hear that you were inspired, and that even though with all that you had gone through and you were coming to terms with, hey, I'm going to be on dialysis, that when you felt the inspiration, you acted on it. And it's not easy to always act on inspiration, because as you guys know, and that's probably a small percentage why you cried, Dawn, is that it's a hard thing to go through, not only dialysis, but it's a hard thing to try to get your hopes up for a transplant. And then with the rejection that he had previously, that must not have been easy.
And I know that you've heard this before, Jared, but when he got his first transplant, the week he got it, I was done. Okay, we've been doing home hemo for like 3.5 years. I'm working full time. We have young kids at home with busy schedules, and I called the home nurse and I was just like, dude, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I am fried. All right. He was procrastinating something terrible. He just did not want to get on that machine. And it would be like 10 o'clock at night. And by the time I got the machine tore down and got everything cleaned up, and keep in mind, back then I was doing everything, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I had to be to work at 6.
Wow.
And this is night after night. And it was like, oh my Lord. So I'm done. I'm telling the nurse, I am done. I can't do this. I said, Iowa City said that it was going to be this year. They tell us this every year. They're liars. And of course, they're not liars. They're just telling us what they know. And
right.
And so, our nurse she's just amazing. Okay. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't even be doing it at home. But she is just amazing. And she has this voice that is almost like an ocean, just kind of washing over you. It's very soothing, very calming. And she said, Dawn, for Jimmie's sake, I hope he gets his transplant this year. Keep in mind, this is December. All right. She says, but I hope for the donor family's sake that it's not till after the holidays. Wham! Talk about a reality check. Okay. Because it's like, as a patient, as a care partner to a patient, we're not thinking about where that kidney's coming from. We're not thinking that somebody's going to die for us to have this chance. Right. Okay. We're thinking we just want this transplant. Well, what happened is Jimmie's cousin committed suicide. And his uncle was right there. And his uncle, they got him to the hospital. They got him on life support. And he was brain dead. But this kidney came from his cousin. His uncle directly donated it. So there's like this double-edged sword. There's this, how can you be happy because you're getting this kidney, but you're grieving the loss of a loved one? It was, and his uncle sat at the hospital with us. like walked up to that line with me as far as we could go. You know, I don't know how he did it. I really don't.
That sounds extremely difficult. It must have been tragic, you know. And
It
you're
was.
right. It's severely bittersweet. You know,
Mhm.
it's sweet and bitter at the same time, and it's sad and joyous. You know, it's both. But we do definitely want to make sure that our thoughts are towards the donor and the donor's family, most especially, because that is a
Absolutely.
very difficult time for them, of course. So we've got a question here, and I wanted to kind of talk about that. Is that so? Candy, thanks for watching, Candy. She's asking what blood type, and if I remember well, it's blood type O or O negative or O positive, right?
Right. It doesn't
And
matter.
then
It's
it
O.
doesn't, right? And generally, that's the reason why I don't list it when I used to. I really did. I used to show the blood type, but I don't anymore because I really feel as though we really want to promote the paired exchange program. So
Mhm.
if you are blood type O or O negative, O positive, or O negative, then great. You're a direct match. Hopefully very smoothly it goes. But if not, that's okay too. And that's the reason why I don't ordinarily show the blood type, because
Mhm.
the paired exchange program is so powerful. And you know, it's really important that we talk about that, because if you're not a match totally with blood type O positive or O negative, the paired exchange program is something that one hospital will work with other hospitals and will match up and do a swap. And
Mhm.
so, statistically speaking, it will speed up Jimmie's chances of getting a living kidney donor. Now, I can't always tell you how fast, but in some cases, it's as little as only 30 days. You know, so it can happen like that. I can't guarantee those results, but I've seen it happen within 30 days. It can
Mhm.
happen. I just can't guarantee it, but it can, you know, and it can really speed up and increase his chances. And so the swap, the paired exchange program, whatever you want to call it, the mighty change, the mighty exchange, whatever you want to call it, it's powerful, right?
It
Yeah,
is.
it is.
It really is. It's like a domino effect. You know, it's just amazing. I actually have a friend who she went into the paired exchange program to ensure her husband um, would get a kidney, and I want to say it was only like 6 months, and he's been good ever since.
Right. Yeah. And I know some kidney warriors that have had the paired exchange program where they've been involved. And I've also interviewed um, living donors who were part of that exchange, you know, and it's amazing to talk to them, because each person that I've interviewed that's a living donor, every single one, I'm saying 100% of them have always, each one of them has said that their life has more meaning, that
Hmm.
their life has more purpose, and they feel like they've done something that has given someone else, you know, such a better quality of life, that they just have a different outlook, a different perspective on life. Every single person has said that, and I've never talked to anybody who's ever regretted it. It's
Right.
it
Right.
And so,
And
aptly put, the name of the topic, or the title of the show tonight, is "Can You Survive with Only One Kidney?" Let's talk about that a little bit. So,
Yeah, I
Shane,
know. I know it's possible. I mean, I know people that actually were born with one kidney and
okay,
they're doing great.
mm-hmm. So I know one person, actually two people, that were born with one kidney, uh, and they for a very long time led very normal lives. Unfortunately, due to other health reasons, not because of their one kidney, their kidney function went down, but it wasn't because of their one kidney and having been born with one kidney. It was for other health reasons. And so each of them had to go on dialysis. But Shane, we had the privilege of talking to your transplant doctor, and he talked a little bit about we asked him questions, and it was just a great interview. So if anybody hasn't had a chance to watch that video, please watch it. It's a great video of the Dr. Axel. Help me with the last name again.
Dr. Axelrod. He's the head of transplant surgery for University of Iowa Hospitals.
I would have said Axl Rose, and I know that would have been wrong. It would have been Guns N' Roses, which still would have rocked. But I wanted to say it right. So, but help me, Shane, if you would, if you remember the interview as well. What were some of the things that he said and shared with us in regards to the risk or what living kidney donors could expect?
Well, he said, first off, the risks. He said there's virtually no risk because when you go through the testing to donate a kidney, they put you through so many different tests that they're going to make sure that you're not going to have any issues whatsoever. He said with his job being in medicine, his job is to make sure that you get off the table just as good as you got on the table. And so they really make sure that if you are going to donate a kidney, that there is no risk to you whatsoever later on down the road. It's a pretty simple process where it's just a few holes. It's done either robotically or it's done, through 3 small incisions, about a ½ inch big, and they're taken out. Typically, your hospital stay is a good example. My best friend Brad, that gave to me a year ago, he was out of the hospital in under 5 days, and he was back running his 2-3 miles, 2 weeks later. So the recovery from it is just phenomenal on how they've come with it. And the other thing he was talking about was, what are my risks with drinking fluids or what's going to happen to my kidney? He said your kidney actually grows 25% in size. So when they take that one kidney out and put it in somebody, that one remaining kidney is going to start growing 25% to make up for the loss of the other kidney. He said, so really you lose overall 25%. You don't lose it like physically function, but the 25% of the fluid function in there, but it still works at 100% cause because it grows. The way he explained it was so much better than the way I'm talking about it right now. But it does. That one kidney is going to grow 25%, which to me blew my mind. I didn't know. I know once a kidney's put in me, just like with Jimmie, our native kidneys, they stay and they shrink up. Like mine are the size of raisins right now. But anybody else, when they give a kidney, the one remaining kidney, that thing's going to grow 25% more, so it doesn't lose any of its function. I mean, I thought that was phenomenal, the way the body works.
Yeah, I was really impressed with him, with everything he shared. It was very informative.
Very informative. It was impressive. It really was. And, and I love that you and he have such a good relationship, Shane, you and your doctor. I think that's amazing. You don't always see that. And you just, when you look at him, you obviously have a good bond, and you can tell that you trust him. And I just think that's phenomenal as well. It's really important. And it's great that you have that, Shane, with your doctor.
Yeah, it's nice. And, he's got his email right there on the website. And so that's how I communicate with him. And then through the MyChart is another way. You don't see that a lot with surgeons out there. Usually you've got to get a hold of, your coordinators or things like that, which I get a hold of my coordinators all the time. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes, this show tonight, I'll probably send him so he can see Jimmie's on it because, when Jimmie's time comes, he'll be the one putting a kidney in Jimmie. So, I want to make sure that he sees this too. So, but he's a great doctor. And like I said, he's got a good relationship with patients. He's not in it for the money. I felt that a lot of times from a lot of different doctors out there, that it's dollars and cents, that I'm just a dollar and cents person to him. And with him, you can tell he truly cares, even from things that he's created, on the side, a side business, even things he's created with Alacare. But yeah, he's a good guy.
That is, man, I seriously think that's really cool that you not only have such a great bond, good relationship, but but there's a level of respect too, you know, and like you said, that he's genuine, and that sincerity isn't always there. You
Right.
had felt previously, Shane, that some of your other doctors had looked at you differently, and you know, and
I think all
I'm
of
going
us,
to
I
plug
think
in
we've
some.
all felt that. I'm sure Jimmie can say that about some different doctors that he's come across through his journey, that there's just doctors out there, you know, that they come, they don't even know your name. They're just looking at their notes right in front of them at that moment, and they're just making decisions based on that. You know, that's, you know, those doctor, the type of doctor, you know, that really knows you is the one that comes in without the notes, sits down and already knows everything about you. And he's basically bringing up your past without you
Right.
having to bring up your past, you know?
Yep,
So that's
That's
and
awesome.
that's yeah, and that's what Axelrod is. We've got a good doctor there. The ones in Rochester are a lot like that too, actually.
yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're amazing. They
Very
are. I
cool.
know
So
that the doctors that are like you described, Shane, that are, you know, they're in it for the money, and they come in with their chart, and they have to look, you know, to see who you are, what your name is. Um, because I'm kind of a pushy, bossy kind of wife, you
Yeah, you
know.
have to be.
Yeah. I fired them.
you have to be, yeah.
She has.
I have
Good for
fired
you. Good for
doctors.
you.
It's like, he will never see you again. Move on.
Good for you. You got to
He
control your
wouldn't.
health, and
He wouldn't
you
listen to us,
Yeah.
you know. And if they're not going to listen, it's not going to,
Yep.
right.
you know.
No,
Absolutely.
good for you
Very,
guys.
very seriously. I commend you. I do. You have to do that, Dawn. You know, many of us talk about being your own self, you know, advocate, and you guys are doing that. I don't see it as being selfish, because there's an article that I read in a magazine recently. I'm going to plug it if I may, but it's have you ever heard of the Kidney Talk magazine?
Yeah.
So, Kidney Talk magazine is, you know, here's Chelsea. Amen, Chelsea. Advocating for yourself. So, the Kidney Talk magazine is put on by, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name of it's the Renal Support Network. I'm forgetting I may be getting the total name, maybe getting that wrong just a little bit, but Lori Hartwell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lori
It's the
Hartwell.
RSN. Yeah.
Yes, RSN, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I subscribed to the magazine, and I got the latest. It's the spring summer issue, and I read the article by Lori Hartwell that she actually writes herself, and it is a lot like what we're talking about right now. It's called "Tune Into Me" is the name of that's the title of the article. Tune Into Me, right? And basically the idea behind it, she says, is that there are two different doctors. She puts them in two different categories. And tell me this doesn't sound exactly what we're talking about, okay? Is that she says the first category, all right, is the doctor who has his or her own agenda. The doctor that has his or her own way of doing things, and it's either his or her way or the highway. And if you don't agree, and you don't want to do those things, then it doesn't matter. That's the first category. And the second category is the doctor who is wanting to hear you, all right, listen to you, and ask you questions to make it interactive and get you engaged. All right. So that you're in it together. And she says that, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but Lori Hartwell says that with this sort of relationship with the doctor, you feel more empowered. And that's what I felt powerful when I read this article. She says that patients who feel empowered live longer. So
Yeah.
think about that, guys. Shane, Jimmie, and Dawn, and anyone else who's listening right now. I want to see your comments. Okay, empowered patients live longer. So, what does that mean to you? All right, what it means to me is that if I feel like my doctor's listening to me and sees me, that I'm not invisible, and I'm gonna feel like I've got a future, okay, that I can envision something and I feel empowered. And when I feel empowered, I feel encouraged, I have hope. And then when I have those things, I have a better outlook and my life is better. That's what I think about feeling empowered. What is your take in regards to empowered patients live longer?
I would have to completely agree with that. I know that even with, we absolutely love our nephrologists, okay? And we love our transplant team, both in Minnesota and Iowa City. Um, but I tell you, our nephrologist here, when Jimmie went to him and said, he was doing 6 days a week home hemodialysis, and he's like, "Look, can I just do another day, because I feel really good, and if I could just do it every day, I think I'd feel better." And
Right.
Doc's like, "Yeah, absolutely, go ahead. Yep, as long as insurance doesn't say anything about it, go ahead." And of course, insurance hasn't said anything. They're all behind it 100%. Um, but even, we have been told, I don't know, a number of times, "You guys got this." They're very, they're our cheerleaders.
Yeah.
I feel like that they're our
Okay.
cheerleaders. That they're like, "You got this, you can do this, you're doing great, you are
That's
rock
awesome.
stars, you're doing awesome." So that, I think that helps us to keep
Keep going.
our momentum
Yeah.
up and keep going.
Yeah, our nurses are awesome.
Which, we just want, we're like Shane, okay? Seriously, yeah, we want Jimmie to get a kidney, but it doesn't stop there, okay? I see somebody out there like Shane, like anybody else out there who's needing a kidney, who's on the list, who's out there looking. I am sharing their stuff. We are sharing and commenting and liking and getting that out there, because and even when I post Jimmie needs a kidney, look, please consider getting tested, and if you can't donate to Jimmie, please consider donating it to somebody else. Okay, there's 100,000 people out there on that waiting list. Please,
Right.
just share your spare.
And that's where that paired exchange comes in for
Amen
you
to
guys,
that.
because
Amen to that.
if somebody would just share that kidney, it doesn't necessarily got to come to Jimmie, but
Right.
it can go to somebody who is going to match up with, and that's going to guarantee Jimmie a kidney in return. And that's why that paired exchange is so important, and people need to take advantage of that, because and the cool thing is that when you're saving a perfect stranger's life as well when you're doing that paired exchange. You don't know who they are, and you're not going to know who they are for a year. They don't let you know who it is for a year. So there's going to be some mystery there, but you're going to feel so much better about yourself, just like what Jared was talking about earlier, people that donate, how that just, gives them so much more peace and makes them feel so much better about themselves. So definitely, look at the paired exchange program and put Jimmie's name in there when you're doing it. So it's definitely something to go for.
Yeah, I know that we made sure to, when we got a hold, I contacted both of the transplant centers and was like, "All right, if anybody comes in and they want to donate and they're giving his information and they're not a match, are we set? Are we set for the paired exchange?" And, "Oh yeah, you're good to go. Everything's all good to go."
Yeah, Iowa City will ask them if they don't match up, because I talked to them about this. They will ask them right there, and they will give them literature about the paired exchange. And the coordinators are part salespeople too, to be honest with you. So they do try to bring that up to people. So just be comforted knowing that anyone that does fill out the questionnaire at Iowa City, they are also given the option of paired exchange as well, and that's done over the phone, not by email. It's actually on a one-on-one conversation. Done that way. So yeah, which is really important.
And I kind of want to go back a little bit to, we're talking about making sure that these donors are being taken care of, and they are. I have, that is the number one thing, is that they don't want to put this donor at risk. And we found out that a friend of ours, little sister, she had gone and started to get tested. We had no idea she was doing it.
Yeah.
And she messaged us and she said, I just want you to know that you saved my life. It's like,
Wow.
what are you talking about? She found out she had kidney disease.
Yeah.
And she had no idea.
No idea.
She had no idea, but she
And
caught
she
it
had no
soon enough that she's not on dialysis. She can change some things. And because she got tested, she discovered that she had kidney issues. So,
Yep. And, you know, Sam talked about this on a show on Mr. Kidney, on the Kidney Corner. He was talking about this, that there are a lot of people out there when they're going through the screenings, they find out other issues that they didn't even know they had. And I can't remember what the number is, but it's, you know, so many people, I think it was 7 out of 20 or something, people have kidney failure, don't even know it, don't even realize it, or some sort of a kidney failure. So, yeah, that's the other thing about this screening test is if you've got something, they're going to find it, and hopefully they'll find it earlier, you know, than later. So
yes.
that's a good thing about it.
Yep.
You know, and then that is very comforting for the donor, the person that's applying, is that if anything, all of us can attest because of what we have known from anybody who's waiting and have any inkling of feeling, or if you have any idea that someone has already applied, that sometimes, you know, that period of time, that testing can sometimes be, you know, months. And and sometimes that can be a little frustrating for us when we want that to happen so fast. But that isn't necessarily a bad thing, because the donors can feel comforted to know that they're looking at every little detail and they're looking very closely to make sure that everything's going to go well. And
Yep.
so that's a great point, guys. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
because
and I think that Jimmie
ultimately,
would agree on that point too. Is that, you know, as a recipient, we don't want people to take any risks for our sake. At least I don't. I want to make sure if someone's going to sacrifice for me, I want to make sure that they're going to be perfectly fine doing that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why we did have reservations when his daughter was going through the testing process, because he's like, I don't want her to end up where I am. And
it could have
you know,
happened,
it gave us peace of mind knowing that she was so thoroughly tested, and because of the risk with the high blood pressure that runs in both sides of her family, that it was a no-go. And thank God for that.
amen. You know, sometimes we don't know the underlying conditions. We don't know sometimes the things that are happening, and obviously, the higher deity does know those things. And it's amazing how God is acutely aware of what's happening and can guide us and direct us and protect us and protect our loved ones, like in the scenario that you're talking about, where you get you know, sometimes we have no idea, and then we find out later the real reason why it's not a good idea. So
Yeah.
so we're closing in on an hour, and so I want to talk about this a little bit more, because many of us, many kidney disease patients are looking for a living kidney donor, and then we have some that are kidney transplant recipients right now. And so the living donor, okay, we talked about surviving, okay, and can you survive with only one kidney? We talked about how the kidney increases in size. Let's talk a little bit about how the person can live somewhat normally. Okay, what is normal, right? Like, I'm not normal, right? But let's talk about that, because I think that sometimes that can be a big concern. Now, although we can never say, you know, that a person's life will never that they'll never have any issues, because even with people who have two kidneys have, you know, issues. But typically, okay, kidney donors who have transplanted their kidney and have one kidney remaining that is increased in size, like we talked about, have typically lived very normal lives, or are living normal lives right now. And so I think that's important to talk about, because, again, although we can't make guarantees, otherwise I'd go to Las Vegas if I could make really good guarantees. But I think that, you know, I mean, sometimes I think some of them feel a little uneasy that if they donate their kidney and they only have one, what happens if my one kidney starts to fail? And so let's talk about that for a moment. Either the nervousness or anxiety about the one kidney failing, because obviously you guys know about how that can cause anxiety yourselves, and the living donor typically living normal lives. What would you guys like to add about that?
Well, like Dr. Axelrod said on the show, it's less than a 1% chance of that kidney failing. It's less than 1%. So,
Yeah.
and they make darn sure that, that's not something that's going to happen or could happen. Is it guaranteed? No, nothing's ever guaranteed. I mean, you could have your tonsils out and die from anesthesia.
Right.
I mean, things do happen, but it's very, very rare. And, with the technology and the advancements they've made today and doing these pre-screening tests for people, the likelihood is very minute for anything to happen.
Absolutely. And I know, as Dr. Axelrod had talked about as well, and we had known that already as well, that, if something were to happen, God forbid, if something were to happen,
right,
they get bumped to the top of that list. It's like, hey, you gave the gift of life. Guess what? This is what we're going to do for you.
Higher priority.
Great point. Yes.
Absolutely. And that's how it should be. I know that I've got many friends that, have, because we're so involved. I have many, many friends who are involved that have no idea. They have no idea that if they donate a kidney and something happens, that they get bumped to the top of the list. They have no idea that the recipient's insurance covers everything, that they don't have to pay anything. They have no idea, that there are programs and grants out there to help cover lost wages and room and board and travel expenses during all of this process. That it's kind of like this gate has opened up, that there's no reason. There's lots of reasons. There's fear. Okay. Fear is a big reason. Okay. But there's so many positives. And the number one positive is when we give, we receive so much more. When you give of yourself, when you do something unselfish, being unselfish, being very, very, very selfless, you totally get back tenfold,
And just like you said, with the transplant center, they will help you walk through all of this. They'll help you walk through, that the cost ain't going to do anything. With University of Iowa, they've got people there that'll help with income, with your wages, to make sure that if you have something, you don't lose your living wage for 2 weeks while you're off. So they do have people there that'll help you walk through this process on everything that Don's talking about also. So it's not like you're in the dark on this stuff. They do a good job of communicating with people. So when you're sacrificing to do something like this for somebody like Jimmie or myself, they are right there by your side to make sure that it's safe, it's secure, that your family's not going to come in any financial hardships over it. So there's a lot there.
There is. And I have to share this. We just got back from North Carolina, and on our way to North Carolina, we have our car all decked out. Okay. It says, I need a kidney on the back with all the information. And we had car magnets on the side.
Fantastic.
Needs a kidney. And on the front, it says, share your spare. It's like that car was decked out. Okay.
And you got the button on your shirt.
I got yes. And Jeff designed this. Thank you very much. I just ordered a bunch of them. And
nice.
bumper stickers and we have postcards that we dropped off at every gas station, every rest area, just stuck it up on the board.
Leave a trail
along the way. Yep. But this woman, all of a sudden, this woman pulls up beside us and she's, hey, and I'm like, what is going on? We're in North Carolina. And she's like, who's Jimmie Bates? And I'm like, my husband. Pull over. I'm an O. And so we pulled over along the highway. I gave her the information. I gave her a hug, and she asked me a couple of questions about insurance, about, how would she get there? I said, you don't have to go anywhere. It can all be done here, and our insurance will pay for it. Just fill out the questionnaire. That's where it all starts. Just fill out the questionnaire.
It's fantastic. And that sparked a conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. And then on the way home, I was at a rest stop and I have a t-shirt that says Home Dialysis Life on it. And this woman walks up to me and she's looking at my shirt and she goes, I do home dialysis. I said, do you do PD or HHT? And she goes, well, I do HHT. I said, that's awesome. And we had this conversation.
So cool. Yeah. There are so many things that we can have in common. And it's really uplifting and encouraging when you unexpectedly find somebody who you can connect with, who, has a similar understanding of what you both are going through. And it makes us understand that this world is so small. You know what I mean? Where we're in our world, and sometimes it can seem so small and shallow, but it's actually, when we expand it and we add other people to our world, it's an amazing thing. We don't feel so alone when we do that.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that, Jared, because I know in the very beginning, back in 2009, we truly felt like it was us. Yep. We had nurses available 24/7.
Yeah.
Yes. We had tech support available 24/7, but
you felt like you were Bonnie and Clyde though, huh?
Yeah, it was just us.
We didn't have anybody that we knew that had been through any of this. So
exactly.
We didn't have anybody to talk to about the things we were going through, really.
And now it's like I have got so many friends. I mean, Shane and I are friends. You and I are friends. Jeff and I are friends. Sam, Mr. Kidney, Chelsea. Lisa Baxter, and we've got, we do support groups, we help co-facilitate some support groups, for people with that are on dialysis. Men only, he does a group. I do one.
Oh, cool.
I help out with a care partner one, and then we have one that's local for all modalities, because people shouldn't feel alone. There are so many people that are dealing with this, and they just sometimes they just need somebody to talk to,
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. The cool thing is that we had, like I said, we went on this trip and we went with another couple that does dialysis.
Yeah, he does PD.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And so it was an amazing trip in the mountains, and we had a great time. It was awesome.
It was.
It was awesome until that very last day.
Fabulous.
Well, I will say we did have one night, and I thought of Shane. I immediately thought of
really?
Shane, because we had been out on the boat all day on the lake and in the sun and in the heat, and Jimmie didn't drink much.
I was a little dehydrated.
And his blood pressure tanked.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
it's like, open that saline line and dump it in,
Yeah.
So
give him 300 stat.
Right, exactly. And so, we got that taken care of. But then the day before we were coming home, Jimmie and I had taken off to go to the Cherokee Museum. And on our way back, it was like an hour and a half, our car started acting up. And it's like, okay, hold it. We're almost 900 miles from home. I have 1 day of supplies with me.
Yeah.
And my car is not behaving.
It was ticking. It sounded like a lifter sticking is what it sounded like.
And we limped it to the service shop where it was supposed to go. And needless to say, we bought a new truck while we were on vacation. And I'm freaking out because I'm like, my husband's on dialysis. I have to get him home. And yes, I knew. But it was interesting because I all morning I'd been talking to God. I had been talking to God, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
whatever plan you have for us, okay, I'm gonna go with it. Okay, whatever you got, whatever it's
I
gonna
will be
be.
done.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got there, and I said, okay, what's going on? And she says, well, it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm going, I don't have any supplies left. And we can't afford to stay
we
here
have to
for
go
2 or 3
home.
more weeks.
Oh no.
And nobody said, hey, you should rent a car. It's like, here, let's get you over to a salesman, of course. And, we were planning on buying a truck in a couple years anyway.
He just pushed it
And
ahead.
that's okay. So we just, you know what, we came home, everything worked out, and we had done his, I talked to his nurse, we done his treatments, so he didn't miss a beat.
Yep. And the
Okay.
truck's
All right.
awesome.
So
And the truck's awesome. All right.
and the
Good for
truck's
win.
awesome.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
It's
You
pretty
just and
cool.
we've just learned to kind of go with the flow, and you know what, and we give thanks to God every day,
Amen.
every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Good. Good.
we have to
Well, guys.
we-
Well, I apologize for cutting you off. I just want to say this has been fantastic. Shane, what you've brought to the table today as a co-host, the Iowa connection, and all of the comments today it's been a fantastic show. And I'm so glad we did this together. What I'd like to
Yeah.
do is I'd like to ask Shane first before I let him go. Is just to say a couple words in regards to what you would give for encouragement for Jimmie and Dawn, for maybe what you've already gone through yourself or what you're going through currently, and what kind of words of encouragement that you'd like to give them.
Well, first off, I got to commend you guys on, making sure that anything that's going on with you is you're controlling it. And that's really important to do, is to make sure that you're in control of your health and to make sure that you've got people there that are going to listen to you. So kudos to both of you guys for doing that. And Jimmie, I just wish nothing but the best for you. I really hope there's somebody out there that is considering donating to you guys. Like I said at the front of the show, you guys are a wonderful couple. You're good people. Just stay the course. Keep doing your treatments. Keep doing your diet. Keep watching your labs and making sure that everything's good to go. And you're going to get that kidney. It is going to come your way. We know it's going to happen. We just need someone to step up and donate. And I just call you guys blessed. And I just thank everybody for tuning in tonight, and to please, even after this goes off, to continue to share this story and to get the word out there for Jimmie. So thank you very much. And Jared, great show as always. I appreciate you. And I love you, man.
Thank you, Shane.
I love you
Thank
too,
you,
brother.
Shane.
Man, this has been
No,
a
but I
good
mean, I
show.
really
So
love you. I really love you, man.
I think I love you. Is that
No,
okay?
I really love you, bro.
So, hey guys, I wanted to do this because I think we deserve it. Okay, we rock. We did. We rock this, and so I'm gonna give us some cheer. All right, and then I'm gonna do some confetti. All right, so here we go. All right, here we go.
Woohoo!
Hopefully this works. There we go.
Yay!
I couldn't have done it without you guys. I couldn't have done it without you, man. This is awesome. I feel like a celebrity right now. This is just really good. But seriously, thanks, Shane. Thank you so much. I'm gonna say you're invited to come again. I'd love to have you as a co-host again. I love what you bring. I love your humor, and I love your personality. And so I'd love to have you on again. So hopefully you and I can talk again and bring you on a separate time. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Look forward
you
to it.
rock. You rock, Shane. You do.
All right. God bless you guys.
I
You
absolutely
rock,
love
brother.
watching
You rock.
You do.
Thank
You
you.
rock.
See you guys.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. So guys, what I'd like to do is, Dawn, Jimmie, please give us a little bit of how you'd like to envision your future. Let us know what you'd like to see as your future and what you would do if the kidney transplant happened, whether it's a living donor or a deceased donor angel, either or, and what you'd like to envision for your future together.
Well, we want to spend time with the grandkids while they're little because
All right.
they're growing up so quick. We do want to spend as much time as we can with them, and we do that now.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
it'd be
But we're limited
Yeah.
because we've got grandkids in Chicago and we've got grandkids in Cedar Rapids, and we don't get to see them nearly as often
right.
as we would like to. The grandkids that we have here, we see them all the time, and they warm my heart. And yes, I have days I want to bury them in the backyard, and they know it.
Homeschool's tough.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
We were
yeah.
homeschooling two
But
of them.
they're amazing. They're amazing little people, and it's so awesome to watch them grow and change. And we want to explore the world. We have we have connected with so many amazing people. So and I say there are angels all around us, because I truly do believe that.
Yeah.
That we have connected with so many different people around the world, and we would love to be able to connect with them face to face and not just over a computer screen. We were very fortunate when we were in North Carolina that we were able to surprise another care partner and her husband.
Yeah.
And well, actually, the husband was in on it, but it was just awesome just to be able to see her and hug her and talk to them and connect with them and talk about life.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways to support people that are traveling this journey, um, even if it's just to sit and listen.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So I'm again very, very. It's my pleasure, my absolute pleasure. It's my honor to have interviewed you guys, because it's clear that everyone else, and I'm not alone, that they see the love that you have for each other,
Yeah.
and that love is strong. It is, and we see it. And I hope that someone who's watching this live or as a replay, that they see that and they feel inspired to become a living donor for you, Jimmie, because
That'd be awesome.
if love isn't enough, I don't know what is. And to me, love is enough. And I want someone to see that this love that you have for one another is real, that it's so strong. If there's a reason why and live and have a better quality of life, it's to be with you, Don, and to have
Yeah.
that life with him. That's
Yeah.
indeed what I'm hoping and praying for. And I'll continue to pray for that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thanks for having us on tonight,
Yeah.
Jared. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right. God bless you all. Thank you so much for coming on. All right. We rocked it tonight. We did. We
did.
rocked it. All
It was
right.
fun.
So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So I'm going to put you backstage while I end the show.
Okay.
Right.
But stick down in backstage. Stay there. Sit put. And I'm going to talk to you in a minute. Okay.
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 All right, guys. So we've been just treated to, man, such an amazing interview. I'm going to read some of the comments again, but I've been uplifted. I really feel as though I feel strongly. Okay, I feel very passionate about that. These two have such a love that they need to be together, and we need to find a way to keep that love alive and to keep them together. I feel passionate about it. And if you feel just as passionate about it as I do, then please, all right, have someone, if you're not healthy enough, share this so that someone else whom you know is healthy enough can call this phone number or click on that click on that URL and and apply to be a living donor. All right, just do it. Just do it.
Just do it!
Just do it. All right, just do it. All right. We just need to have somebody step forward so that we keep this love alive. All right. So hashtag keep love alive. All right. Let's keep love alive and find a living kidney donor for Jimmie. All right. So thank you so much for watching tonight. Thanks for your following. Thank you for helping me get the information out there for Jimmie and Dawn. All right. I appreciate every share, every comment. All right. God bless you all. All right. I'll see you soon. Hope you have a good evening. May God talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out. Where's the outro? I know it's, oh my gosh. Am I sitting on the outro? I think I'm sitting on it.
These brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Cold, these brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Ride or die, 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 ride or die. Cold, these brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta ride or die.